who were expected to
our own, see, understand. I have.
I cannot. The Constitution is an anti-Hindu document. Acha, so that is the Constitution which speaks of cow protection. Thank you. Okay. The Constitution is a document which has created this entire apartheid against Hindus. Sorry. The moment you start looking at the Constitution or any book in that particular direction, your mind is automatically close to any solutions that can come from that book. Then you have no idea how to use the book to further your interest or agenda. Until it is changed, that book is the one that is effectively going to decide your destiny and your future. If that is the case, and your mind has already created a block in your head, which is to say, I cannot get any solution from that book because it is against me, then you've effectively lost the battle. Then what are you doing in court? There's not a single legal or a constitutional battle that you can hope to win at all. And for a community that takes such pride in its argumentative nature, its Tarkic heritage, its philosophical leanings, and its power of reasoning and logic, you can't seem to find a solution in that book. Then don't call yourself the progeny of people like Shankaracharya or the descendants of people like Shankaracharya, because you've given up on that. Now, to answer your question, if you look at the judgments of the 50s and 60s and 70s, you had judges who were trained in the Shastras, who were Sanskrit scholars, like Patanjali Shastri, Rajagopal Iyengar. These were people who had their pulse on the tradition apart from being scholars in that particular tradition. So when a practice or a religious practice, particularly a dharmic practice, is placed before them, their lens is not jaundiced. Their lens is clear in being able to separate diversity from discrimination. But when you already have a certain repository of basic conditioning which is not dharmic, I'm not necessarily going to call it anti-dharmic, it is a-dharmic, if not necessarily adharmic, then obviously you will continue to apply that very same conditioning to every practice that comes before you. And there is a confirmation bias which tells you this is the conclusion and I will find a reason to achieve that conclusion regardless of what the facts are. So if the ground is not fertile to receive a certain idea, keep throwing facts at it, it's not going to make any use. It's not going to make any difference, any smidgen of difference, any scintilla of difference. So that means we are failing, or we have failed to invest in creating members of the judiciary from their days as law students who understand Hindu law, who understand Hindu practices, who have read P.V. Kane's Dharmashastras, who've gone beyond that and have read the primary sources. So what is the point of blaming the judiciary when you have failed to create people who are in a position to defend your interests and your practice? So invest in educating, invest in rearming. Before Trishul Dan, start with Gyan Dan. That's what I would say.